Tonight is the full moon, and I see a lot of things out there. A lot of people have questions about what are you supposed to do on a full moon? What does it even mean? Well, energetically, there are cycles in the earth, and the moon has a lot to do with the tides and the pull of water in the earth. A lot of people garden by the moon because at certain times during the moon cycle, there's either energy going down into the roots, into the earth, or energy being pulled up toward the leaves of a plant, for example. And so if we want to follow this plant analogy, the new moon would be the time when you sow the seeds of intention. What do you want to plant in your garden of your life? And so you sow those seeds of intention, if you will, during the new moon. You think about the things that you want to work towards, and then you start working toward those things. Well, at the point in the cycle when the full moon hits, which is tonight, is a time to look back on the seeds of intention that you've planted and see, where am I at in my growth cycle? So following this analogy with the plant, you are, maybe celebrating the abundance that you have in this plant, or the potential that this plant represents. So it's a good time to celebrate. It's a good time also to do some clearing out. So just like with gardening, you've got a beautiful plant, but inevitably there are some weeds growing around the base, and you want to keep those weeds clear so that they don't take up the resources that the plant needs, right? So the weeds rob the plant of the ability to get as much water, nutrients, and growth as it possibly could. And so you pluck those weeds out. Well, in your life, those weeds might be represented by things that aren't serving you, things, attitudes, beliefs, habits, behaviors that are holding you back from being able to be as healthy of a plant as you could be. And so some people will make a list of those things, those weeds in their life, and they will literally throw it away, rip it up, put it in a fire place and just set fire to it, flush it down the toilet, things like that. So it's a symbolic representation of the weeding of your life. You're meditating on those things, realizing, you know what, these aren't things that are good for me. These aren't things that are moving me toward my goal. And then finding a way that works for you to just say, you know what, I'm going to let go of these things. I'm going to try to get rid of them so that they don't hold me back anymore. So that's kind of the full moon. And so between the full moon and the new moon again, you're kind of working on that letting go process and refining your intentions. And then the new moon comes around again, and you start over again, and you say, okay, where am I at with this goal? It's kind of like breaking a big goal down into smaller pieces. You've got a 5-year goal for your life, and then you go, well, if I'm going to get here in 5 years, what do I need to do in 1 year? And then what do I need to do this month? And then, what do I need to do this week? And then what do I need to do today, right? And so the moon cycles help us to break down the wheel of the year, or the year itself, and into smaller, more manageable pieces. And so we can set smaller goals and hopefully accomplish them by being continually aware of them, bringing them back to our mind and to our hearts through little rituals and little remembrances throughout the month. I hope you found this helpful. Feel free to leave questions or comments below.